Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. Here I'm teaching how to customize cargo websites with code. And today we're gonna learn how to create custom breakpoints. Well, this is a complex topic and that requires you to understand many other good concepts of web development, and of course we're not gonna be covering all of them, but I'll show you how to style all your text elements to be responsive and how to adapt your styles not only for mobile devices but for other type of intermediate devices like tablets and for larger screens. First thing to understand here is how your website looks on other devices, not only on desktops similar size to yours and mobile similar size to this simulator. So go to the published version and then open, do right click and open inspect. I think there is a short command on that on Mac, like Control Command I or something. And here is what you will see. This is a Chrome dev tools, but they might be different. Actually, they're quite customizable. So you need to find this little icon which looks like a desktop and mobile. Click on it and you will get responsive mode. You can simply drag these controls and you will see how your website changed. So this is exactly how it's going to look on that size of devices, and this top values is basically the width of your device and the height of your device, and these numbers are going to be in pixels, and this is all that matters to us. We're not going to use any inches or centimeters, and we don't really care how large pixel is because, well, this is actually what's called resolution, and well, it does not really affect the process of development much. So, well, this is not a thing we should need to consider today, all right? And all that matters is this amount of pixels. There are some fancy units, but today we're going to be discussing only some basic ones, which is pixels, RAM, viewport width, and viewport height. But that's going to be more than enough to build a great looking website. To demonstrate, I'm going to use this piece of text, and I gave it a class test so I can target it directly, and this is what I'm going to do now. Test, and let's say font size, and let's set it to 60 pixels, and probably I want to go with a larger value so you can see the difference better. Alright, and now when I resize my screen, you see that the letter size are staying absolutely the same, and it's going to be the same across every single device. And I think this is a great unit to use on your body copy if you do want all the paragraph looks the same. Another size unit which is a little bit more complex is RAM, and if you go and open any text style and go to the code view, you will see that the font size is set to 1.2 RAM. And well, this is not a real physical value. This is basically some sort of a factor multiplied on some base size in pixels, and as a result the font size is always going to be in pixels. But what is this base size? Well, let me go under the hood of Cargo and scroll up a little bit. And well, this is a variable called base size, and when I start resizing my screen, it's going to change. And well, this is not a native behavior of the browser. This is something Cargo team created for us, and this is how they control all the sizes, and that's why they set in RAM. You can keep it in RAM or you can override it. It's all up to you. The last size unit which I want to show you is, well, this is pretty easy. It's called viewport width and viewport height. So if I say 10 viewport widths, that means that now my size depends on the width of my screen. And when I change the size, it kind of scales proportionally. But if I'm going to change my viewport height, it's going to stay static. And this is sometimes this is all you need. And the same for viewport height. Well, it's going to work in opposite way. So, well, let's make it a little larger. So now if I resize my website vertically, it changes, but it stays static if I'm changing the width. Now you're ready to talk about breakpoints. So let's go to our code editor and let's change our global CSS. And the thing which we're going to create here is called media query. You type media, then break, then open the brackets and open curly brackets, and inside of these brackets you're gonna set which devices you want to target. So for example, you can say max width equals 600 pixels, meaning that we are selecting all devices starting from 0 pixels to 600 pixels. So that's going to be mobile and maybe a little like small tablets. And here I'm going to reset H1 style to be font size. Well, let's make something purposely small so we can see the difference better. 10 pixels. And if you go to mobile version, you will see that nothing changed, but simply because there are some other styles which are kind of overriding our media query. But we can always say important, which is, yeah, this is going to be like, hey browser, just prioritize our style. And this is how we change them not only on mobile but basically on many other devices. Let me actually make this value larger and publish the website and demonstrate you how it works. Let's reload the page so we can see our update. And now I see that the text stays the same, but once I hit 800 pixels, it's getting small. And now at some point, I'm going to hit the mobile version. You see that our padding changed. And well, basically we just overrided it and consider that creating custom breakpoints. Now let's try something different. So max width selecting only devices starting from 0 to 800 pixels. But if I say min width, that means that I'm targeting now all the devices starting from 800 pixels and larger. That's why we see the update on desktop, but we won't see it on mobile, right? We can go even further and we can select some sort of a starting point, which is going to be min width is, well, let's say 500 pixels. And we can select an ending point, which is going to be max width, like that. And let's say 1020 pixels. This is how we can target tablets, and in my opinion this is probably their target, like tablet size. And let's publish and see if that works. So yeah, this is our desktop version, which is larger than 1200 pixels. This is our tablet version, and this is once again our mobile version. But well, actually we are not really targeting the exact point where mobile version starts, and you can find it out just changing the amount of pixels and see when it changed. So yeah, this is our cargo breakpoint. It's 580, but cargo changes over time, and I cannot guarantee you that it's going to stay exactly the same. We can use that, we can adapt it to our styles, and this is going to be the start of like the end of the mobile version. And this is how we can work with that, but once again there is no guarantee that they won't change it in the future. For that reason, I recommend you to actually check your website time to time and make sure that nothing changed. Where cargo can update the breakpoint, cargo can also set important for some styles, which is going to be overriding our styles, and then we would need to set more precise selectors. Well, you can actually ask ChatGPT how selectors in CSS works, and it's going to resolve that. Well, by now that works fine. But well, once again, since we are building some custom code on top of cargo existing code, we highly depend on cargo team decisions, and they do not consider any code customizations, of course. More or less, this is all you need to know to create custom breakpoints. And if you are not happy with how cargo handles that itself and you need to target some, I don't know, like some particular device, this is the way to go. And of course you can like target not only H1 but body copy and any custom selectors, let's say our test thing. And well, you can just add this class to every single element which you want to be affected, and this is going to work. That's probably all which I want to tell you about custom breakpoints. And if you still feel that you don't quite understand it, well, feel free to copy the thing and just ask ChatGPT about it, because it handles these sort of ideas pretty well and it can explain you everything. Subscribe to my channel. I'm going to post more cool tutorials about Cargo Collective, and if you like this video, please leave me any comments because it helps to promote my content, and see you in my next videos.